What if I could show you the exact workflow for how to plan out the most insane strategy for your Unreal Engine 5 project? Well, I can, because today I brought on someone that has dedicated months and years into creating complete game plans. Richard Breton. This guy is the number one when it comes to writing down the exact path that you need to follow to complete your game. And today he's going to review his entire workflow of his outlines, all the tools that he uses, actual implementations, and how to get started. So if you want to plan out the most insane strategy to complete your game, this is the video they need to watch. Alright, so Richard, what are you working on right now, and why do you think that what you will show us today is so important?
Hey Gorga, yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm gonna showcase my game design document or a GDD, and really show why it's important to like organize what you're building, what game you're building, regardless of what kind of game it is, RPG, RTS, first-person shooter, whatever it is. It's really good to have a very organized and well thought out, established, um, like, here is the game concept. This is what the game is. This is the plot. These are the basic mechanics. This is the objective of the game. And really have like all of those things really just drawn out, which is what I'm going to go through right now and just kind of really pick apart like planning an idea and like organizing that idea, and then like how that connects like in a team environment. And if you're not working with a team, it's still good to do because you'll see all the benefits of that
Yeah,
here
100%. Yeah.
shortly. And it's funny because even on our team, like in the beginning, there was like kind of a disagreement, like, because it's a like kind of like an indie like mentality, right? Like, hey, let's just go out there and make a game, right? Like that's what indie developers just like they want to do, which is great. Like having that sort of passion is great, but having like an executable plan for that game is even better, you know?
Yeah, I
So
100% agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Planification is one of the most important stages when it comes to the development of your game, because if you have everything planned from the start, it would just be easier to just get through it, the tasks that you have to complete. And when working on a team, it's essential so that everyone can communicate. But like you said, Richard, even when working as solo, it's still important because you will be just on track, right?
Yep, 100%. So the productivity tool I use is called Nuclino. Really big fan, especially if you're like a smaller studio. Pricing is pretty friendly. But that aside, the main reason I used it, why it was attractive to me is it has this, whoops, it has um, an AI tool called Sidekick, so you can. Um, I used it to like solidify my story concept because I had this idea of what I wanted my story to be, and then I leveraged the built-in AI here to help me like really nail down like some of the details of the story. So that was kind of my
Right.
why I bought it, was that's what sold me. But since then it's kind of like an all-in-one productivity tool. So you can lay out like documents like this. There's like an actual like board. So if you're familiar with like Jira or Asana or anything like that, like there's just swim lanes for your team to like work on tasks. And as you can kind of see, we've been working on this for a very long time, even back to like 2023. And really before
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I started doing this solo like 2019. Um, Picked up Nuclano in like 2021, about the same time. Funny, I think I met you and started like learning how to build games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, been using this for quite a few years.
Yeah.
It also has things like a wiki. So like you can like when you like have new teammates, you can, tell them, who you are, when you were founded, like what your mission is. This is most of this is like dummy content, but like our workflows, like how do we do work, what tools we use. So it's kind of like really like an all-in-one kind of like productivity system, really,
Yeah.
tool set. So back to the actual game design document. What I did here is I kind of just thought about really like high level, what does a game need? People need to know what the game is about. They need to know like right gameplay, like mechanics, like player controls, the UI, just like so all the high level things I basically just broke down into um their own um their own collection, what Nuclino calls a collection. So Nuclino basically like uses a folder system. I'll show you like at the end like how to like actually build one of these like trees out, but it's basically like a just like a folder structure, like in a just like Windows or Linux, any basic folder structure. They just call them
Right.
collections and
Okay.
sub collections. So then I was like, okay, well, here's the game setting. I need locations, I need story, I need characters, I need bad guys, I need other major NPCs. Um, so then I just like really started nailing down the details of what I needed for like each of these sections. So as you can see, this is like so the game has basically three continents, and then it's broken down into like sections of the game. Um, so just for, can you still see my screen?
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay,
It's
so
crazy.
this is like a 2D map that I made of the game. So I basically converted this map into this, broke it down into this folder structure, basically. Um, so yeah, basically came up with concepts of like what what each area of the game would look like, basic general descriptions, events that would happen in each of these areas, important NPCs, how this area connects to other parts of the games, other part of the game, excuse me. But like, yeah, so it's it, and it's kind of funny because like the whole thing kind of just like funnels down on itself, right? It's like, oh, like, okay, I need locations. And then you're like, okay, well, what kind of locations do I need? And what kind of events are going to happen in those locations? And you just kind of, the way that it's like designed starts to help you like sort out your thoughts of like what actually needs to be done for like this area to be interactive and playable and all that sort of stuff. Of course, I'm thinking about this from a context of like a story-rich, open-world,
Yeah.
like dark fantasy RPG, because
Yeah.
that's what our game is. But like, let's say you were making like a first-person shooter, right? You would need to know what story is happening in that, in that location or in that level. You would need to know what kind of weapons and ammo and, although you start to think about the real mechanical details that are going to actually, the actual value of the game, right? Like the mechanics and how things are actually going to work. Not, oh, I want to build a Souls-like game because, I did that at first. Like I think in the beginning, that's kind of how it is. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, I know how to make games now, and like I'm gonna do this thing. But then what I realized when I went down that path myself of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. What I think like psychologically what ends up happening is you're like, oh yeah, this sounds good, right? Like you're like, yeah, this combat mechanic sounds really cool. And you're like, oh, you know what? No, that doesn't sound very good. This other mechanic sounds
Yeah,
better, right? And you
you
kind of go
realize,
through
yeah,
the you kind of just go through this like hamster wheel of like, oh yeah, this is a better idea. But like if you actually have it documented, like this is this is how combat works, right? Like this is, and I'm gonna show you because I actually have like a diagram of how like the
nice,
combat loop works. So I have everything like instructionally like written down. Like this is actually how it works, not hypothetically, not how I want it to work, but this is how it actually works.
yeah, okay,
Um, and I think that that helps. Just feedback from like my own team. It's just like having that sort of clarity, as a developer. Oh yeah, this is like it helps everyone out. Like think about like how they need to build things, whether it's a developer or like one of my like world artists who is like building like all the continents out, which he has done. Um, and so it just gives everybody like the scope and the detail that they need to do the things that they need to accomplish to build the game. Um so so yeah, this is just kind of just go through this just to kind of get like an idea of conceptually of like what some of these areas look like. This is like the first level of the game. Um, it's got everything from the basically all of the descriptions of every city to every level.
wow.
Um, yeah, I have it all here.
Everything is written down, and everything has
Yeah,
a concept image. Yeah, see.
Yeah. And then I have this like little inspirational section because I love listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
When I do this, like I see it as like it's kind of weird. Maybe a lot of people will disagree with this, but like I see game development as like a very artistic process, even
Mm-hmm.
if you're like a developer. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you think about creative ways of like how can I actually get this to work, right? Like you think about it differently. It's like more mechanical, but it's like I wonder if this is like a better solution to make this mechanic work, or I could do this instead, to make it more efficient or whatever. Um, and of course, like there's a creativity process because of, how the assets in the world look, how the world looks, how the world was built, all of the creative aspects too. But I just see the whole like process is very like game development is a very collaborative and create like takes a lot of creative thinking on top of the logical aspect of it too. Even
yeah.
for like game devs, I feel like.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah, it's not only the technical stuff, it's also the creative side of the game and all that is involved. So it's very important as well to mention.
yeah. So that was like kind of the locations, and then I have like I started writing the dialogue. This is like the opening of the game essentially. And I use the sidekick AI a lot to help me like think about how to like flesh out the dialogue because I don't know if you have like experience writing stories or not, or if you've ever like tried to do that, but writing stories are it's a very creative process too. And it's
Yeah,
like, okay, this is what my game is about, and this is kind of like the themes of the characters. And like you have to like build chemistry, but also like figure out like how you're going to open the story and create curiosity because like you have about like 3 to 5 minutes to grab someone, you know, like a player's attention, and then they're pretty much done with your game after that. So you really have to be like, wow, like from a story perspective, right? You have to create something that's like, okay, I need to know what happens next, right? Like create like a lot of curiosity. Um, and you can tell that these characters are like a little rough around the edges, but they also like, I mean, I can just go to them actually. So here's like the
Oh, right,
character
okay.
description because like I fleshed out the characters, like who these characters are, how they act, their behavior, their mechanics, their abilities, you know, personality, what they look like, special abilities, you know, all of these like details. Same thing with the secondary main character. Um, so like everything, like I just I literally everything I thought of how I want these characters to work, how I want them to interact with each
Mm-hmm.
other, how I want them to talk to each other. So, yeah, I started writing. This is basically the dialogue through the first city, and I haven't really started the second city's dialogue yet, but getting to it.
Yeah,
So
nice.
that's like the story. Those are the characters. Oh, whoops. Let me show you some of the baddies. Um, there's like there's like three religious factions in the world, and I've like documented who their followers are and stuff like that. Um, and then like the main bad guys, I created this chart
Nice. Okay, so that's
uh,
a chart.
of yeah, of like the lead bad guys all the way down, and it's of course this evil corporation. Go figure. But there's a lot more to it than that, of course. But that's the general thing. And then like I fleshed out every single like evil bad guy, like main, you know, evil bad guy, their characteristics, who they are, what they look like, their powers, um, yeah. So now really we're in the process of like um putting it into action. Like I said, the world has been created. The first, like I showed you the other night on our call, the first city is almost built.
Yeah.
Um, so we're starting to finally like make all of this stuff finally come to life, which is awesome. But you know, there is like I don't think people think about this kind of stuff that you know when they're just starting out, and maybe this level of detail is unnecessary. I'm a very detail oriented person, and I want to know how things work, right? Like I'm a developer by, you know, by nature. So I want to know like mechanically how things work and why they work that way. So I guess it's just like in my nature. But I think it's like really good to have like this sort of plan because then once you start building, um, it just makes everything like much smoother. So are you cool if I like transition into like the actual like combat and
Yeah.
stuff and like mechanics?
Let's do it.
Cool. So this is like what I wanted to show you. So this is I think I showed you this the other night too. So this is like
Wow.
um basically like we're gonna create like a stamina system that is basically like a key, basically the key mechanic. And obviously if anyone's played Souls games, that's very much the case, right? Like your stamina controls how much you attack, what types of attacks you can do, all that stuff. But this is like I guess a level deeper than that.
Yeah.
This is really trying to like create this like never ending flow of like just being able to be in combat. So like there's different types of attacks. They reduce stamina based on what type of attack it is. And then say you like lose stamina percentages based on what type of attack. Um, and if you don't fully like connect the combo, right? If you only like land part of the combo, then you take a heavier penalty. Um, but then you start regenning your resources through also attacking. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works. In theory, it sounds really cool. It's becoming like really hard to like implement. There's a lot of complicated moving parts of like figuring out like what is the exact percentage, right? Because like you don't want to be in a position where like your character can't do anything because the player isn't good enough, right?
Yep.
Like I mean, you could punish your player that way, but usually you do it like in Dark Souls, right? You just get killed because you're not good enough, not because you didn't have the resources and the game developers just like didn't
Yeah.
figure it
It's
out.
skill basically, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you just like you want to be careful, like um, how you punish players, especially when you create like difficult games. But I think in general, that's always important. Like as a part of game design, like how do you punish your players? How do you reward them? And I think like building charts like this really helps like visualize what you're doing to the player. So right, this is like how the system works, and then this is the actual like combat loop.
Okay.
So the enemy, sees the player, combat starts, and then the player can take an action once, combat is actually started. Um, and then, right, this is just translating the system into a loop. So whether the character does charged attacks one handed or two handed, they lose a certain percent of their stamina. And then they're going to start regenning it based on the type of attack they do. And they can only, combat is only broken in this loop, only ends if the player runs, enemy dies, or the player dies. And then, of course, these checks are, constantly being checked by the system, so that this loop can repeat itself. Um, but yeah, yeah, I think like that helps the developer understand. Okay, this is like when they're building the system, like then they can recognize, oh, well, maybe this behavior shouldn't be happening, right? Like, why did combat end if none of these three things didn't happen, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if the game doesn't think you're in, if the game thinks you're in combat, but you're not really in combat, that is, very problematic.
Oh yeah, problem, right?
It's
Yeah.
a very big problem.
The great thing about
Um,
the beauty of planification is that then, like you said, the person that has to code this in blueprints or whatever it is can literally just look at this graph and execute that in blueprints. Like they don't have to
yeah,
figure it out as they go, which is a great
yeah,
advantage. And this does only work. This doesn't only work in a team. It also works solo. You could make the diagram yourself and then also code it yourself. But when you actually go and code, like you go 10 times faster because you know exactly what you have to do. And that's like, again, I keep repeating this, but it's one of the advantages, just speed later on in the
yep,
development.
yep, yeah. It just makes things faster. Like when you're in the actual details of things, right? Like you're
Yeah.
in the actual grind of building, it makes just that process so much easier to deal with. And then, yeah, this actual page is like the demo that we're going to create. So we're going to create the first two areas of the game and then the first level. Here's the list of characters that we need to create, the UI stuff, the mechanics, combat,
Wow.
animations, audio, video, visual, cinematics. So it lays out even like what we're gonna deliver in terms of like a playable demo, right? Like early
Yeah.
access. And I think that's great too for a lot of ways because it helps the team focus, drive towards that goal, right? Like, hey guys, like we can do this in 18 months, right? Because like everything is laid out, everybody knows what they need to do. So you can like actually begin to predict like how long something is going to take you to get done rather than like, oh yeah, I'm working on it, right? Because I
Hmm.
feel like I'm guilty of that too. I still do that sometimes,
Yeah.
but not so much anymore. Because when you have a plan, it's just like, oh yeah, let me go look here. And then I know what I need to do. And then I know about how long it's going to take me to do something. Um, and if I haven't done it, then, it's hard to predict time on that. And of course, you'll run into issues like that. But I just generally things become more predictable in like how long they will actually take you to do
Yeah.
rather than like, oh, yeah, this might take a month when it's like really only going to take you a week,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Super important as well.
Um, yep. And then I documented the class system and the archetypes and which character can access those classes and um yeah, so it's like a role, like what the archetype is, the role summary, the types of abilities, whether they can cross class, so whether both characters can use that class or not, um both the main characters. So yeah, I mean, really,
Yeah.
it's all about that documentation. I've created all the levels. I mean, some of this stuff is empty, but like I have general like overview
Hmm.
information about like each of these levels, the objectives in them.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just if you're looking for a tool to be like really productive and like organize your game, or organize a game idea, um, this is like a really great tool. I found it, I still find it very valuable. I mean, I use it, me and my team use it all the time, every day. It's a great way to reference things. You're like, huh, what does this character look like? Or what are their skills? Or how does this mechanic work, right? It's just like a great reference guide. You don't have to like remember how all of your stuff works. It's
Yeah.
just documented and
Hmm.
you can just reference it. So, um I think that takes a lot of pressure off too, right? You don't have to like remember how everything works. You can just go reference it later, and be like, yeah, this is how it works.
Yeah.
This is how jumping works. This is how running works. Whatever it is. Um, so yeah, that's just kind of a brief overview. And then if you want, I can just kind of show how to like create these sections.
Yeah. I think
Just
I would love to see how you can actually create some stuff in Nuclino. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let me create. Oops. Let me delete this. I think I gotta create it up here. Yep. So you just do this and then you create a collection. Uh, and then you can put, like I said, you can create a sub collection.
Okay.
So, and then, you can keep doing this over and over again, just like as many times as you
Right.
want, and then you can call this like sample one, and then you can create an item in here, right? So
Oh,
it
okay.
creates the actual item in here. This is whatever test data for sample one,
Hmm.
and then you can do the like same thing here, and then create an item and just whatever. Just whoops, I can't hit. button, but yeah, there we are, the right
Yeah.
key. But yeah, then like it's just like it's really that easy to get started. So you can come up here, it shows you your tree, and then it shows you all of the items within, a collection or a subfolder.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just like, a normal structure. So you have like your main folder and then as many subfolders as you want. So, right, I can create like a, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let me remove this. Um, so yeah, then I can do like sub collection test two, and you can just like, right, you can just keep
Keep
creating
going. Yeah.
subfolders and
Everything that
just,
you need. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That's easy.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like super easy to get started. And you can actually like build from a template. I can't remember how you do it. It's been so long ago, but
Yeah.
like when you're on their main page, it's just like any other program. They're like, hey, you can create from a template, and
Mm-hmm.
you can just choose whatever template you want and then just start ripping it out and organizing it however you want.
Yeah.
And then it works just like a folder structure too. So if I delete um, like the parent folder, it sends it
To
all
trash.
to
Okay.
trash. Um,
Okay.
and
That's
then
cool.
yeah, and
That's
then
it.
apparently I have a lot of trash here. Oh,
Yeah.
these are literally all just crazy. Okay. Well, I will just empty the trash.
Yeah.
No, I'll do it later. But um, so yeah, and then it's like you can, archive things. So like if you think you want them for later, but you're not going to use them now, you can archive like entire
Yeah.
folders or items. You can do whatever you want. If you want an entire folder, you can archive it. So just a lot of neat but common features of most productivity tools. But
Yeah.
like I said,
All
it's
good.
like I feel like just it's kind of like an all-in-one because it's like a Jira board, right?
Yeah.
It has a wiki, so like if you are actually growing, like you've published a game and you have like, a small dev team of like 20 or 30 people and you're introducing people, you want a quick way to like introduce new team members to what you do in your team.
Ah, that's
Like you
great.
have this
Yeah.
wiki here. Um and then like I said, there's like here's like the Jira board where you can like work from. You can see like who is working on what, who's
Ooh,
assigned
this
to
is super
what.
important. Yeah, keeping track of the tasks that you have to
Yeah.
complete. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
And how do you go about creating the graphs that you showed us for your combat system and so on?
oh yeah. So all you have to do, they have this thing called a canvas, and it is like a new feature, and you can just open it
Wow.
up, and they also have templates. So like if you want to do a flow chart,
Oh
um,
yeah.
they have a flow chart. If you want to like brainstorm on ideas, you can do a brainstorming thing. I actually use this like org chart to do like the org chart for the enemies of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I just did it a little differently. Um, and then like what else do they have? Like mind mapping. So like if you like want to brainstorm on a concept, this is like great for like we haven't done it yet, but like as the team grows, this is like a great way of like, hey guys, like what new feature do we want to add into our game? Yeah, we want to do multiplayer. We want to add some online features. We want to add a few new levels. We want to add a couple new weapons, right? Like you can just come in here. That's what we're gonna like talk about. Let's brainstorm on it and see what we come up with, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I
So,
see.
but
Nice.
yeah, it's super useful tool. I don't, and of course, like Jira and Asana and tools like that don't have that. So,
Mm-hmm.
like if you have like Figma or Miro or something like that, like a design tool, then you could do something like that. But it's pretty cool that like
It's integrated. Yeah,
The
that's the main
Canvas
thing.
tool is like integrated. Yep.
Yeah, that's actually a really good feature that not a lot of other apps like Notion
Yeah.
or, I like a lot of Miro, but obviously Miro is just a big canvas. So, for example, if I
Yep.
wanted to do, subcategories like we saw, I cannot really do that. So, Nuclino is pretty good. I guess it kind of combines everything together, and I think the main purpose of Nuclino is for game design documents, right? The GDs like you're doing. I think that's like their
Yeah.
marketing brand, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like how I found them. I did a Google search for game design documents, and it was like one of the first results that came up.
Yeah.
And then I started reading about them and digging into it a little more and their pricing. And then you start digging into like the AI and the Canvas feature. Like AI is like it's new but not super new, but like the Canvas tool it's pretty new, like last 6 months or so, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
they're just constantly thinking of like really cool things to add into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy with it.
That's amazing. Ah, so cool.
Yep. Um, and then yeah, it lets you like there's this cool little outline tool. I forgot that this exists too. So like wherever you are, like in the page, each page has this outline tool, and you can just like click on it, and it doesn't like break you away from the page, and you can just like scroll through the page. It's pretty cool
Okay.
feature
Yeah.
actually.
It's like the Google Docs
Yeah,
index. Yeah, that's so good.
yeah. So yeah, when your pages get super long like this, it's easy to like really scroll through things, you know.
Yeah.
Quick navigation, just those small little efficiency things make a really big difference.
Yeah. It does. And it gets big, definitely.
Yep. And then just here's some other stuff. So this is like I started working on this. This is something like I actually want to finish. Um, but I'm doing it just for demo purposes. This is like a progress route through the entire game. So from the opening sequence to each village to each cinematic to like everything. So
Yeah.
it's mapping out every single detail from the start of the opening of the game
Yeah.
to the end.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't Ravabel is like the second city. This is where I've gotten. So this is where I am in my story, and we're about to like actually create it in the game, like the actual town. So this is kind of like where I'm actually at. So I'm doing it as I'm going because I don't want to come back to this at the end of the game and map all of it out. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
better to do that as you go. There are
Yeah.
definitely some things to do better as you go,
There's
for
some
sure.
exceptions, yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, this is like then I did like a written documentation of the game progress routing. So the opening village, what happens, like all the major things that happen in each of these places, and the prologue, hunt for more orbs, go through all these places. Yeah, so I actually have it all mapped out, but I want it visually mapped out too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I get that.
so yeah, again, maybe that's more of a me thing. Me and my very detailed
Yeah.
behavior.
I guess it
But
depends on the developer. I mean, there's some
yeah,
core elements that I think
C-
you have to do to like plan out the game to go fast, but there's some things that really depends on you, what you think is better for you to write down and how you work. If you're more of a visual person, yours is text. So yeah, I guess in some degree of this, like, really depends also, you know?
Yep, it does. And like I said, like I think that this is like perfectly acceptable. Like if you threw this to your team and was like, "Hey, this is what the story looks like. Here's all the main plot points in the order that they happen." Like, I think that and it links back to like where these places are so you
Yeah.
can like click on them and actually like go to them. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just me and my detailedness. I like multiple ways of seeing
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Completely agree. Nice. All right. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you have anything else that you want to show, but that is a lot of content so far. Really,
Yeah.
you really gave us a lot of tips today.
Yeah, man. Happy to share. I mean, I hope it's helpful for all the people watching, all your viewers watching. Um, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
And yeah, man,
Thanks for
that's
jumping
all I
in.
got for you. Yeah, our team is like open looking for volunteer help or rev share. We will have rev share for people who stay in for the long term. But if you are looking for an opportunity and you want some experience, whether it's game dev, art, modeling, animation, visual effects, sound, music, whatever it is, feel free to shoot me a DM on Discord, SGS Phoenix, or you can find me in Gorka's Discord. I'm his community manager. So yeah,
Thank you, Richard, for jumping in once again. Really insane tips today. I think we all learned a lot. We tuned in, and guys, if you want to see a part two, seeing a different angle from this, let me know down in the comments, and we'll be bringing Richard more for more videos. So stay tuned because there's a lot of cool content coming up. All right, now yes, bye bye.